Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video we're going to be learning how to draft a strapless bustier or tube, whichever way you choose to call it. If you're a beginner, you don't know how to go about drafting your strapless bustier, make sure to watch this video to the end to get all the steps. All right, but before we go right into the video, if you're yet to subscribe to my channel, please, like I always beg, hit on the subscribe button and most importantly turn on the notification bell so you can be notified anytime I drop new videos, so you don't miss out on anything on this channel. All right, so without further ado, let's go right into the video. To draft your strapless bustier, you fold your material or your pattern paper into two like this. I've already gone ahead to impute my basic body's measurements. I mean my vertical measurement from my shoulder to my bust, from my shoulder to my under bust, and from my shoulder to my waist point. All right, so from my shoulder to my under bust is 10, which I've already marked, and then from my shoulder to my under bust is 13, and then from my shoulder to my waist is 16. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do right here is to impute my shoulder measurement. My shoulder is 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. I'm going to mark it right here. So on this point, I'm going to come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. Like we all know, our shoulders are not straight, so we always come down by half an inch or 1 inch for our shoulder slope. For those of you who have been following my tutorial, I'm very sure you would have gotten used to this by now. So I marked 3 inches for my neck width, and then for my neck depth I'm marking 3 inches as well. We are not actually going to use this neck for our tutorial because it's a strapless bustier, but for those of you who don't know how to go about drafting your basic bodies, so this is how to go about imputing or calculating your basic bodies. So that's the 1 inch I came down. I'm going to connect it all the way to the neckline like this. So this is our shoulder slope, and then from my shoulder slope I'm going to come down to mark my armhole depth. How to mark your armhole depth: you divide your bust by 6 and then you add 1.5 inches to the measurement. That is how to get your armhole depth. Or better still, you go up by 2 inches from your bust line. From your bust line you go up by 2 inches. That is how to get your armhole depth. You either divide your bust by divide your bust by 6 and then add 1.5 inches to it. So I just place my tape to make sure I have whatever I had from up down. All right, so I'll connect my armhole, the slant, all the way to the points down. All right, so this is my armhole depth. So I'm going to rule a line across, which is going to be my chest line. So I'll just rule a line, a straight line across like so. So this is my chest line where my armhole will be sitting. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do right here is to take my tape and then measure on the straight line on the armhole. I will measure whatever I have there. I'm going to divide it into 2 to get my midpoint. So on that line, whatever I have there, I'm going to divide it by 2 to get my midpoint. So I'll just mark my midpoint here. Then on that point, I'm going to go in by half an inch. I'll go in by half an inch. And then I'll divide my bust by 4 and mark it on the chest line. My bust divided by 4 is 8.5. I'm going to mark it on the chest line here. And then I'll connect all the points together from up all the way to the points I had on my chest line. All right, I'll place my French curve. Make sure it's placed properly to get that nice armhole curve, and then I'll connect the points together. All right, So this is our front armhole curve. The next thing I'm going to do right here is to divide my nipple to nipple by 2 and impute it on all the lines. My nipple to nipple is 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. I'm going to impute the 3.5 on all the lines. All right, I'm trying to get our front darts. All right, so you divide your nipple to nipple by 2. Whatever you have, you mark it on all the lines, just the way I'm doing it. And then I'll connect the point with a straight line. Like so. So on the waistline, I'm going to mark 1 inch on both sides of the straight line. 1 inch on both sides of the straight line, like so. And then on the under bust, I'm going to mark 1.5 inch on both sides of the straight line, like so. 1 inch on the waistline and 1.5 inch on the under bust line, and then I'll connect the point with a straight line, a slant line actually, like so. Then from the bust line, I'm going to come down by 1 inch. The reason why I came down by 1 inch is to avoid the pointiness on the bust area. That was why I came down by 1 inch. Then I will use my curve rule to connect this line to meet that point I came down by, like so, yes. And then I'll use my curve rule to connect the other line to that point as well. Then in between the shoulder slant, I'm going to measure whatever I have there. I'm going to measure whatever I have on that shoulder slant. Whatever I have there, I'm going to divide it into 2. So you place your tape on that shoulder slant, measure it, whatever you have, you divide it into 2, and then mark it to get a straight line. All right. Then I'm going to connect that point with a straight line to meet the line we have on our chest line, like this. All right. So from my bust line, I'm going to place my tape and measure whatever I have from the distance I have from my bust line to my under bust. I'm going to place my tape and measure it. The distance from my bust line to my under bust is, I think I had about 3 inches. That 3 inches from the bust line, I'm going to place my tape and mark that 3 inches upward. From the bust line, I place my tape and mark the 3 inches upward. Then on that point, I'm going to mark 1 inch on both sides. The 3 inches I went up, I will mark 1 inch on both sides on that point, and then connect. And then from my bust line again, I will go up by 1 inch. For my bust line, I went up by 1 inch again, and then connect the point to meet that point, like so. I hope you are following what I'm actually saying though. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do right here is to try to get our front neck. All right. So to get our front neck from the chest line, I'm going to go up by one 1.5 inch. On this open end of the pattern paper, on the closed end of the pattern paper rather, I'm going to go up by 1.5 inch, and then I'll connect this line. I'll connect this line to meet that 1.5 inch I went up, like so. And then this other one, I'm going to connect it all the way to the armhole line with my curve rule. All right, I'll connect this one all the way to the armhole line. So this is for our sweetheart neck. So the next thing I'm going to do right here is to go ahead and impute my body measurement. My bust divided by 4 is 8.5, which I've already marked here, as you can see. Then I'm going to add 2.5 inches I took for my dart. All right, I added 2 inches rather, sorry, I added 2 inches. And then on my waist line, I'll divide my waist by 4, I'll mark it, and then the 2 inches I took for my dart as well, I'll replace it. Make sure whatever you take for your dart, you replace it when imputing your body measurement. All right, then I'll connect the points together like so. You can see the shape of our bustier coming out. Then you connect that armhole to meet that line. You connect it like so to meet the line. You can see our bustier coming out already. Then you connect this line together in case you would like to use the upper part, but for this tutorial we are not using the yoke for this tutorial. So the line I'm connecting together, the upper part is our yoke, but what we are doing is a strapless bustier, so we are not going to use the upper part. But in case you would love to use the upper part, you connect the lines together like this. All right, so the next thing we are going to do right here is to go ahead and cut out our pattern. Please make sure you pay attention to how I'm going to cut this pattern paper out, so you don't cut the wrong place. Please pay attention to how I'm cutting it. I'm cutting the yoke out now. So this is the yoke. But like I said earlier, we are not using the yoke for this tutorial. All right. So this is all for the front pattern. You see how beautiful it's looking. Very, very easy to draft. All right, this is the front pattern. So I'm going to keep this aside and then we'll go ahead and draft the back pattern. All right, so I've already gone ahead to rule out the basic lines: the shoulder, the chest line, the bust line, and the waistline. All right, so what I'm going to do on the waistline is to impute my nipple measurement divided by 2, like how we did on the front pattern. I'm going to mark 3.5 here, and then mark 3.5 on the bust line as well, and then I'll connect the 2 points together. Then on the waistline, I'm going to mark 1/2 inch on both sides of the straight line, 1/2 inch, and then I'll connect the point from the bust line to meet the 1/2 inch on the waistline. So this is our back dart. So the next I'm going to go ahead to do is to impute my body measurement, my waist varied by 4, and then the 1 inch I took for my darts, I replace it, and then I'll come to the bust line, divide my bust by 4 as well. And then I'll connect the point together. Please, when drafting this or when cutting this on your fabric, make sure to put your zip allowance on your fabric. I did not put zip allowance on this pattern paper, right? You put like 1.5 inch or 2 inches for your zipper allowance, all right? So from your chest line, you come down by 1/2 inch. You come down by 1/2 inch from your chest line, and then you connect it all the way to meet the bust line. All right, so this is for the back neck. You come down by 1/2 inch from your chest line and you connect it all the way to meet the bust line, like so. So this is our back neck. Like I said earlier, we are not using the yoke for this tutorial because this top is a strapless bustier. But in case you want to use the yoke for your top, you can actually use the front yoke to draft the back yoke. All right, in case you want to use yoke to draft, you want to make your top with a yoke, you can actually use the front yoke to draft the back. All right, but for the sake of this tutorial, we are not using yoke. We are drafting only a strapless bustier. I don't even know what I'm saying again, but I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. All right, so this is basically how to draft out your back pattern for your strapless bustier. So I'll just go ahead and remove our darts, our back darts, like so. So this is basically it. This is the back. This is the back, and this is the front of our strapless bustier. You see how beautiful it looks. Very, very beautiful. This is the front and this is the back. And In case you want to use the yoke, like I said earlier, you can use this yoke for the front to draft out the back yoke as well. So this is the yoke for the Burstier, and this is the back. By the time you open it and you join everything together, it's going to come out really fine. So this is our strapless Burstier. Thank you for staying tuned to the end of the video. This is how far we can go. So thank you so much for your support and for staying tuned. Thank you so much. See you in my next video. But before you go, if you are yet to subscribe to my channel, please do to hit on the subscribe button, subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up if you like it and you want more of this content. Support me and share the video with friends, family, everybody. I will really appreciate that. Thank you.